Toronto Fire Services responded to a 3-alarm call, I believe it was. Upon arrival, they found fire on the 4th floor. As a result of that, one individual has died, is deceased. We're currently in the process of working with Toronto Fire Services, the Office of the Coroner, and the Ontario Forensic Pathology Section in the removal of the remains.
Definitely should not have been on his own. There's no maybe. His entire medical care team, his entire advocacy team was making that point vigorously. Vern, about 8 weeks ago now, had a series of strokes within a single weekend. He ended up having 3 strokes. Went into the hospital. He was there about 5 or 6 weeks. At that point, his care team was advocating that he stay in the hospital and that they get him into some kind of supported living situation. The hospital said, no, he's fine to go home. This is about 2 weeks to 16 days ago. So over the last 2 weeks, Vern has been in and out of the hospital approximately 6 times. His care team is consistently advocating, listen, you can't send him home. The fact that the longest he's been home is about 40 hours should be pretty clear proof of that. And being the tenant rep, there was this past Sunday, I was upstairs, I was doing my laundry, I come out, and I hear Vern calling from his apartment, help me, help me. And we called EMS, came in, he had fallen down, and because he has such limited function on his left side, he couldn't get back up off the floor. Back to hospital. 3 or 4 days before that, the EMS was called at night. Vern was so upset at going back into the hospital that he called and asked me to be brought up and was saying, could you just please stay with me? And the EMS said, no, you cannot be on your own. The EMS, the paramedics were saying, no, you can't stay here. We need to take you to the hospital. So everyone involved has been saying he needs help. He came home yesterday. He came home at approximately 3 o'clock.
From the hospital? From
the hospital with a nurse. A nurse brought him home. Ricardo, the superintendent, got up out of his chair. I was with him in his office. Ricardo gets up, runs out into the foyer, is talking to Vern, saying, how are you? You really don't look well. And he said straight to the nurse, listen, he can't be here on his own. The nurse's response was, no, he's fine. He'll be okay. 3 hours and 20 minutes later, Vern's dead.
Recently, he had some medical complications, which were making things very difficult for him. He had a stroke and was hospitalized and was released. I wasn't involved in anything around that, but it was concerning to us that his capacity was declining. So yeah, definitely his care team at Queen West is very concerned and looking forward to having a conversation around how these kind of things can be prevented in the future, as it was a very sad event for everyone.